Beautiful. Wow. Let's say together, it's a wonderful life.
It's a wonderful life.
Do you believe that? It's a
It
wonderful
is
life.
a wonderful life.
James, why is it wonderful? Because I say so. Because you say so, right? That's what makes all the difference. If you don't believe it, then maybe you might have a different experience. But if you understand and know that it really is a wonderful life,
Yeah.
wow. So I wonder what we're talking about today.
I'll bet we're going to use the movie It's a Wonderful Life to explore the idea of hope and faith. That's what I think we're talking about.
Well, let's do that. Since you brought it up. I was going to go a different direction, but
Yeah,
we'll go
I
with
think
that.
we're going to explore how, this movie, how many have never seen, that's an easier question, have never seen It's a Wonderful Life?
Okay. All right.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Well.
Put it on your bucket list.
No judgment in that at all. We just, we want to make sure that we understand, that we explain everything well. So, It's a Wonderful Life gives us some profound lessons about interconnectedness, purpose, and I think the nature of reality itself. So, it's really about how radically interconnected we all are. Yeah, how radically interconnected. So it's really more than just a Christmas story.
All right.
I mean, that's the time of year that we watch it,
Yeah.
because the movie takes place around the holidays, but it's more than that. So how many of you think of It's a Wonderful Life as a heartwarming Christmas movie about a man in crisis saved by his community? How many of you think that's what it is? Yeah, okay. Well, we're going to look at it a little differently. We're going to see it as a profound spiritual context that answers the question, what are the pillars, the true pillars of a meaningful life? What are the true pillars of a meaningful life?
The film argues that our reality is not material or solitary, but interconnected and spiritual. Right? Our value isn't in what we can acquire, but in the invisible impact we have on the world around us. Say together, I have impact.
I have impact.
Every one of us have impact. And that to me is one of the cosmic lessons of life, and the cosmic lesson that's in this movie, is that we all impact our environment just by showing up. How many understand that you carry your energy with you wherever you go? Whatever that energy is. If it's holistic, if it's forgiving, if it's kindness, then that's what you carry. If it's something else, then it's something else, right? And so, let's affirm together. My life is a cosmic event.
My life is a cosmic event
And ripples out into the world.
and ripples out into the world.
Did you know that you're a ripple? Let's say it together. I'm a ripple.
I'm a ripple.
Thank you.
So for those of you who have not seen the movie, let's just quickly recap.
Okay.
That the movie is about George Bailey, who really wanted to do big things with his life. And he feels he's stuck in this little town with a family working at the bank, and the bank is suddenly in crisis. And he finds himself on a bridge, ready to just end it all. And an angel steps in, and kind of like the story of Scrooge, shows him what his life would be, or what life would be like without him in it. So that's kind of the premise of the story, so that you know.
Yeah. And there's always an antagonist. And in this story, it was Mr. Potter. And the angel showed George what the world would be like if he wasn't here. And instead of the name of Bedford Falls, the name was changed to Pottersville. And it was a horrible place. It was an unkind place. And so Mr. Potter is driven by greed and a desire for power. He views people as a means to achieve his own goals for power and money. And so this isn't just a what-if scenario. It's a different metaphysical reality. How many understand that we all live in our own worlds? And some of us more than others. All right? We all live in our own worlds. We populate it with our own little animals and with our own little people, with our own little thoughts, with our own little environment, you know. And I wonder, what is it like in your world? Do you have a beautiful sofa that you can go and sit and rest and relax, and beautiful gardens that you can walk through and look at the flowers?
Mine's pink and glittery and full of cats.
Yeah. Barbie. She lives in a Barbie world, I guess.
Live in a Barbie world.
So, but a lot of people live in they live in Pottersville. They live in a place where, you know, of loneliness and selfishness, and you know, lack of self-worth and lack of confidence, and this is the kind of world that they have built within themselves. How many know you're building your world? You're in the process of creating it with every thought and every feeling and every word that you speak. You're creating this inner world, right? And so it's important to pay attention. That's what the spiritual life is really about, is paying attention. Right? Have I lost your attention yet? Let's pay attention. How many know that life costs you something? It costs you your attention. Right?
So when George finds himself on this bridge contemplating the end of things, he is visited by Clarence, his guardian angel. And as he shows George what life would be like without him, it's not just a slight change in things. His absence doesn't make things slightly worse. It actually is back to that rippling effect.
Yeah.
It created a cascading series of changes, and it created this dark parallel world full of lonely people, unkindness. They had no positive role models. There wasn't any compassion, and there certainly wasn't loving their neighbors.
Right.
So it didn't have just a small little effect. It had a huge cascading effect. And we all don't just have a small effect. We have a large cascading effect in our life, in our worlds, and those that we affect.
Well, you know, George was the linchpin in his world. And you know what? You are the linchpin in your world. And the effect of the people around you. If you are dealing with them honestly, sharing from your heart, giving as well as receiving. How many understand that life is a circle? You give and you receive. You give and you receive. It must be balanced out. We need the balance, don't we? And so today we hear a lot about, you know, this isn't true, that's not true. There's even somebody that came up with the word truthiness. You know, which means, you know, it's not really totally true, but it's kind of true. All right? And there's a lot of talk about, well, that's not real, that's not real. What's real is this over here. And people are creating their own worlds of misery and suffering. But in Unity, we like to tell people misery is optional. Say it with me, misery is optional. Right? You don't have to live there. Yes, we all may visit there once in a while, but we don't have to live there. As soon as you find yourself, I'm in misery again, then you wake up and you step out of that and you say, okay, let me take a deep breath, let me say a prayer, let me take a walk, let me do whatever I need to do to get out of this, right? And to move into a better place, to a place of wholeness and well-being. Let's say that. Well-being. It just vibrates, doesn't it? Well-being. And so when I'm living in the truth of life, because there's no greater way to live than in the truth. Right? And what is the truth? It's whatever is in the moment. Whatever it is in the moment. deal with that, work with that. And you know what? It can change. It can grow.
So one of the central quotes in the movie that Clarence, the guardian angel, says to George is that, strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. When he isn't around, he leaves an awful hole, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the premise of this, the Pottersville reality. George has shown that when he's not around, the Pottersville reality of things is that with no George, there's no faith, there's no hope, there's no trust. There are some people in your life that without your presence, there's no faith, there's no hope, there's no trust. You don't realize how much you affect the people, and that without you, there would be a very large hole.
Because we all have impact. We all have impact.
Yeah. So what George discovers and is shown is that his life, he thinks it's kind of meaningless. Here he is stuck in this little town with just his wife and his family running this bank, and he didn't get to aspire to the great things that he wanted to do. But it shows him that his life really was a necessary cause for a chain of events to happen that brought very positive effects to everyone around him. So it's, it's a single life is a necessary part of the complete whole. You are part of a vast network, right? You are a part of a vast network. Your life has meaning and purpose and is a part of something bigger than just you.
Yeah.
And that's what George is shown.
Mm-hmm.
And if we remove you from this service this morning, this entire service is different, because your energy lends something to it. If you don't show up in your world, or you weren't a part of the world that you're in, the entire web of that world would change. It wouldn't be the same. We each bring such a needed and valuable meaning to the whole. You get that?
Yeah.
You're meaningful. You're important.
Well, there's something called the butterfly effect. And you can see that in what the angel was talking about. Because if George wasn't there, Harry Bailey dies. Because George was supposed to save him. Mr. Gower goes to prison because George wasn't there to stop, to help him, to work through this possible mistake that he was making. And Mary is a lonely Spencer.
That's George's wife.
Because George wasn't there to build a life with her. Right?
Yeah.
And the Martini's bar becomes a hostile place because George wasn't there to create a community where Violet, the owner, could be supported rather than being exploited. Mm-hmm. So our actions, even the smallest, unseen ones, have cosmic significance. We are all butterfly effects in the lives of others. Mm-hmm. Right? So, can you think of maybe even just a small action that you took that had a large, unexpected impact on your own life? A few years ago, I got a call from a lady. And she was down, but she didn't say anything about being depressed. She just was calling. She said, I don't know why I'm calling Unity. I'm just, and I answered the phone and I talked to her for a little bit. And then she said, well, thank you for talking to me. I really appreciate it. Well, she started coming, and joined in the services. And a couple of years later, I overheard her tell somebody, she said, that day that I first called, I was ready to commit suicide. I had the gun in my hand. And I didn't know it. But I was there. I just happened to be the person who was there, to facilitate that situation. How many know that every encounter is a holy encounter? Mm-hmm. Every encounter is holy and sacred. Can you get that? And if you let it be, if you allow it, it's sacred. Everybody is sacred, you know?
I think this is a really good spot to say that not everyone enjoys the holidays. The holidays are really hard for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Some of us have loved ones that have transitioned, and so the holidays feel empty. Some of us are, strained in our finances and wonder how we're going to get those gifts that we want to get and all that stuff. The stress of the holiday. It's not a fun time for everyone. So just remember when you're out rubbing elbows with people and they're being rude and unruly and, all that stuff, that there's something going on. There's a reason why people behave and act the way they do. So maybe just leaning into that idea of, I don't know what's going on with this person. Maybe I can bring them a little bit of sunshine. And for you yourself, reach out to others. Take advantage of our prayer chaplains after the service and let them hold you in sacred space and speak an affirmative prayer with you. Be here in community and be with other people and be strengthened. If you find yourself lonely or grieving loss, just reach out. Reach out to someone, because we here in this community are this web, right? And we take care of one another and we're here for each other. So lean into that and be supported by that during the holidays if the holidays are not a fun time for you.
Yeah. I remember one time when I was about 12 years old, I was sitting in this park at this softball game. And I knew the people. I was there just to watch. And so the coach, he looks over and he says, "We need somebody to help." And so I'm looking around. He said, "You. Come. I don't have a glove. He said, "That's all right. This is softball. You know." So he put me way in the outfield, And so I'm out there just kind of looking around. And I knew a little bit about the game. We had thrown the ball around and batted around and stuff. And so anyway, this one kid got up to bat. He was big. He was strong. And he was doing the Babe Ruth thing, pointing out at me. And you know what? That ball when he hit it, it went boom. It went straight through the air. And then I was running as hard as I could to get to it, And I grabbed it and I fell over and held it up. Yay. And caught it. All right? Yeah. Thank you. See, that still works for me today. Isn't that great? Thank you for that. But there was a shift in my mentality because I was in school. I was being bullied, a little bit, and I was lacking confidence, and just that little thing. And then the coach, he came over. He said, "Wow, I can't believe you caught that without a glove." Well, you said I could. So I did. And he just praised me and pat me on the back and gave me a high five, and all the kids were saying, well, that's because, it was a real important part of the game. And so, but I haven't forgot that, because somebody cared enough, to say, hey, you have value. You have some worth, and that made a difference. It really shifted some things in my life. How many of you have people in your life, a teacher, a friend, a parent, somebody who took you aside and said, hey, you can do this, or you're better than this. You don't have to do that. You can do this other. And it inspired you, and it gave you some confidence. It gave you a little bit of, awareness, self-awareness. And that's what happens. So everything you do makes a difference. And if you're paying attention, if you show up or somebody shows up in your life, they're there for a reason, right? They're there for a reason. So it's up to you and I to figure out what that reason is. Sometimes they're there to bless you, to give you a message. And sometimes they demonstrate with their life what that message is. Sometimes it's a positive message, sometimes it's a negative message. But how many know that you can learn from the negative, right? Even when somebody is having problems or what, you can learn from that. And you can be a support. And maybe you could say something, just a little something. And you know who the people that we don't think about the most, that we ignore the most, that we deny our love from the most, are the people who are closest to us. The people who are really important to us. Our spouses, our friends, people in our community here. Sometimes they're doing that and they're doing a good job, it's great, and then we go on, not realizing that they need support too. They need some appreciation. I know we all need that, don't we? So I know, you got to have your tank full so that you can, put your foot on the gas and go and do what you need to do. And it's nice that we have people around us to say, hey, I appreciate you. Thank you, Leah, for that wonderful dinner we had Friday. That was really good. And for Thursday and Friday. She made 2 meals. She made turkey both days, all right? And mashed potatoes. The thing. All the things, all the stuff. And it was so good.
It was good.
So thank you for that.
You'll probably have some more of it.
Probably.
Probably. Yeah, I was just thinking about how, we always think about prosperity or wealth, being the number in our bank account. And one of the things that we talk about a lot in Unity is that prosperity or true wealth embodies more than that, right? It's our health, it's our success in our careers, or not even success in our careers, but joy in the work that we do. And I remember back when we were in real estate, I don't remember exactly the whole circumstances, but there was a really nice, big, wonderful-looking house from the outside. And you would look at that and you would think, oh, these people have got everything. I mean, look at this house, Well, you went inside of it, didn't have anything in it. Didn't have much in it. And it wasn't because they'd cleared it out. It was because they couldn't afford to put anything in it. They had a really nice big house for show, but there was nothing in it. You never know when you're looking at something that looks like it's all put together and wow, how beautiful, what's on the inside of it. Is it empty on the inside? Are there people in that house that are struggling with relationships, that are struggling with mental health, whatever the case may be? So there's really a lot to this idea of not judging the book by its cover, right? And there's a lot more to our wealth and our prosperity than just the dollars in your bank account. That's really at the bottom of it, if you think about it. It's so much more important to have the connections and the love of friends and family and community. And without those things...
Yeah. Well, you need a balance in life.
Yeah.
I mean, I love having plenty of money, right?
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good. But at the same time, relationships
It can't be all about that.
are so important too.
Yeah.
It's your relationships with people. That's where the riches come in, because they bring the warmth, they bring the care, they bring, the sharing. They bring all of those things into your life, and that's part of the wealth too.
Yeah.
And you know what? When you feel better emotionally, you're healthier too.
Yeah.
Right?
And in the movie, George had lost sight of all of that.
Yeah.
Because he felt like he was trapped in this little town with a wife and family, working at the savings and loan. And he didn't realize that it was the family and the friends and the community that he lived in that really gave him, as Clarence said to him, you see, George, you really have had a wonderful life. But he had lost sight of the things that were meaningful to that being a wonderful life. So we have to keep our eyes on, the things that are important, really important, and long-lasting in our lives.
Yeah. There was Potter's view of the world, which was the ego, the world of ego. You're worth more dead than alive, he told George. And your value is measured in dollars and property and in power, right? But George's reality was relationship wealth. Mm-hmm. Relationship wealth. Yeah. I mean, no, you want to encourage that. You want to work on that, and bring that out and add that into your life and nurture that, because George's value was in the trust, the love, and the community that he helped build. Mm-hmm. The building and loan wasn't just a business, it was a vessel for human dignity and sharing. Isn't that great? Well, wouldn't it be something if everybody looked at their work like that? Instead of, I'm going to do my 9 to 5, blah, 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 But you realize, no, I am here to be truly helpful. Yeah. I'm here to contribute my part. I'm here to give into the whole and circulate. How many understand that wealth is to be circulated? Love is to be circulated. Peace is to be circulated. All of these things to be shared. And it's a beautiful thing.
That reveals itself as a beautiful metaphysical truth when in the movie there's a run on the bank. Yeah. There's a run on the bank and all the townspeople come in and they start demanding that they want to take their money out of the bank. And George says to them, you can't take $20,000 out of this town. The money's not here. Why? It's in Joe's house and in 100 others. It's in this business over here. It's over here. And he let them know that the real value wasn't in that physical $20,000 in the bank. It was invested in the people. It was invested in the community. That beautiful metaphysical idea that the wealth is in the community, in the people, not the things, right?
And here's a truth. It's a secret. Most people don't realize this, but the banks really don't have all your money. Oh. It's not in there. Yeah. Most of it's digital anyway. What do they have? They have your trust. They have your belief. And they trust and they believe. How many? That's what it says on our dollar bills. It says, in God we trust. It's all by faith. It's not built on anything physical. It's built on the spiritual, intangible belief, that we all have, right? That when I go to the bank, and if I do need a couple bucks, I can get it, right? But they just keep enough on hand to cash checks or whatever they need to do for people who still carry cash, right? But really, it's a spiritual. How many know that money is spiritual? Everything is spiritual. Yeah. It's to be circulated. It's to flow. And the more that you can put out, then the more that will come back to you. You may give to somebody, and they never give back to you. But that's okay, because you're not giving just to them. You're giving to the wholeness. You're giving holistically. Yeah. You're giving to God. You're giving to Spirit. You're giving to the community. You're giving, to humanity. And in doing that, it's going to come back to you. It's like the proverbial boomerang. You throw it out there, and you say, where'd it go? And then you turn around and start walking down the road, and boom, it hits you. Oh, well, thank you. He came back. And Jesus said it comes back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and then running over. Yeah. Take a breath of that. That's the kind of life that George was living, but he forgot. How many know sometimes we forget?
Yeah.
We forget who we are. We forget what we have. We forget our purpose. We forget all this richness that we have in our lives, right?
So how many were with family over the Thanksgiving holiday? Yeah, quite a number of us. How many had wonderful times with family over the holidays? And friends? Yeah. Wasn't that priceless? You remember those commercials they had where they go like, going to the prom, $500, having the perfect date, priceless, you know. There are some things that are just priceless. And being with those that you love, family and friends, in an atmosphere of love and camaraderie and trust and faith and peace, that's priceless. It's priceless. So it's not about, that was the lesson that George learned, that it was not about the wealth. It's about the wealth of, it's not about the wealth of money, it's about the wealth of
well-being,
relationship and well-being,
mm-hmm.
you know. I think one of the quotes in the movie was something to the effect of, no man is a failure who has a friend. No man is a failure who has a friend. If you've got a friend, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Right?
Somebody loves me. Right?
Yeah, somebody loves you.
Somebody. So,
How do we focus on?
well, I think it's the proving that Potter's world is wrong, is incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the right way to go. And George realized that. In a moment of total material loss, he discovered that he was the richest man in town. Right? Because of the non-material wealth that he had cultivated. Because when the bills came due, when the clock had run out, it was time. All of the community came running in. They said, I got this, I got that, I can add this and I can add that. And before you know it, he had the money that he needed to pay off the loan, to save the bank. You know? Isn't that amazing? Mm-hmm. So we need to invest in friends. Yeah. And rich friends are nice. No, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. But rich in true wealth, yes, right? Yes. So, George, we started with the idea that George was believing that he was a failure because his material dreams didn't come true. Yeah. But Clarence the angel, the messenger, that's what angel means, a messenger showed up and showed him that his true impact was metaphysical, was beyond the physical world. The countless lives that he had shaped simply by being his true, selfless, natural, organic self. Mm-hmm. Right? Isn't that beautiful?
I think a nice way to tie this up is to bring it back to the daily word when it talked about Mary making the journey and how frightening that must have been for her. And it was, we question ourselves about, why am I going through this long journey? Why am I going through this stuff again? Why do I have to experience this? And we step that back into that faith, knowing that there's purpose and there is a higher reason for all of the things that we experience, for all of the things that we find ourselves going through and traversing. Grief is a wonderful thing. Think about how beautiful grief is. The fact that you had someone so meaningful in your life and you had that kind of love and relationship that now that they're gone and you feel this overwhelming sense of grief. Yeah. What a blessing to have had someone to have that kind of experience, right? So all of these things that we think we're traversing that are really hard and really unbearable, we lean into those things with trust and faith and hope, knowing that they're for a higher reason. And sometimes we don't see the reason until way down the road, right? Because how many of you have events in your life that you look back on and you go, man, am I glad that didn't happen the way I thought I wanted it to, right? Because we see in the moment with our limited thinking, and when we get down the road, we see that, oh yeah, that would not have been the way to go. So sometimes we don't see it until we're down the road, but there's always a reason and purpose for everything that's unfolding in our lives.
Absolutely.
If we'll just take the time to look at it with faith and hope and peace.
You know, Maya Angelou said, I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. Right? When I'm with that person, it feels good. That's the kind of person I want to be. How about you? The highest and best version of myself. Let's take a breath. We're going to turn down the lights. So now let's take a breath. A good cleansing breath. Allowing your awareness to shift now. Just a little bit. Letting go of the external world. And moving through the portal, the doorway of your inner world. Getting in touch with your breath. And just noticing your breath. Noticing the life force that is within you. That same life force that keeps everything alive. We call it the Christ. We call it Spirit. We call it Buddha. Whatever name that you want to give, it doesn't really matter. There is only one power and there's one presence in my life and in this universe. It is the all-loving goodness, connecting power of the Holy Spirit. And I am part of that. And I am one with that. And in all of this, I know that I serve a unique purpose. I'm a wave in the ocean. I'm a ray of light, been sent by the light into the world to bring light into the lives of those around me. I am the love of God in physical form, to give, to share, to learn, to add my energy, my talents, my strengths, my abilities to the whole, and to be a blessing. So know this morning that you are not alone. You've never been alone. You have help. There are angels, guides, and messengers all around you, teaching you, leading you, guiding you. Your loved ones are watching from the other side. Every once in a while, they'll tap you on the shoulder, say, look over here, look over there. If we could only see this beautiful world of spirit and understand that we are part of it. It's not outside of us. We're in it. We're part of that great ocean of life. So let's pay attention. Let's pay attention. And be comforted this morning and know that you're not alone. Have faith, belief, and trust in the positive good. That everything is working out as it should. And things are getting better and you're moving toward more light and more light and more light. Even the little things, the small things, are making a difference because you're in that positive flow. We're so grateful for these messages all around us. We hear them, and we can act. We become love in action. So right now, if you know of someone that you'd like to hold in this space, in this sacred moment, whoever it might be, whisper their name, and then surround them with your love, your prayers, your support. Trust in that beautiful divine flow to work in and with and through them now. And while you're praying, forgive those. Forgive those that have hurt you, that have wounded you, that have been unkind. Because forgiveness is about release. It's about letting go and being free. Being free to fulfill your purpose. To be able to joyfully walk your life path. To continue your journey with faith and trust and hope and confidence. Let it rise within you. Take it with you today. That feeling, that sense of I can do it. Whatever it is. I can get through this situation, this challenge. I can heal this relationship. Empower yourself to be the highest and best version of you that you know you can be. Let's take a breath together. We bless our community. We bless our world. We bless our nation. We affirm reconciliation and forgiveness and healing for our country and peace. We turn it over to the higher power. And we are grateful. So I'm going to leave you for just a moment in the stillness to commune with your own soul for just a moment. So in this moment, remember to say thank you. We're so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In the name of the sacred and the holy. Amen. And so it is. As you come out of your meditation, I invite you to reach and stretch. Alert, awake, feeling good.